All right, guys, now we actually want to be able to add a post through our form. So once we submit this, it's going to go to post/add. So let's visit our controller. And inside post/add, right now we're just displaying the form. We're displaying the view. So we have to do what we did with the register and login forms, and we have to check to see if it's a post request. So we're going to do an if statement here. We're going to say if, we're going to use the server superglobal. We're going to check the request method to see if it's equal to post. All right, and then we'll put an else. Okay, and that else is where this stuff is going to go. All right, now if it is submitted, then what do we want to do? Let's first sanitize the post. So we'll do that by creating a new variable of post, setting it to filter input array. We want to filter the input underscore post, and we want to filter underscore sanitize string. Okay, so that'll clean it up a little bit. Then we want our data. So let's copy this. Okay, so for the title and body, in here we're going to just put a trim, and then we'll pass in post title. Okay, so then for the body is going to be post body. And then we also want the user ID. Now the user ID is going to come from the session. Okay, it's going to come from the currently logged in user. So we'll say session user underscore ID. And then we also want our error variables. So we're going to have title underscore error, which will equal nothing to begin with, and then body error, which will equal nothing. So that's our data. Now what we want to do is a little bit of validation. So we want to validate the title. So we'll say if empty data title. Okay, so if that's empty, then we want to fill the data title error. And we'll set that to please enter title. All right, let's do the same thing for the body. We'll just change this to validate data. So this will be body, and this will be body error, and we'll change this to please enter body text. All right, so now we want to make sure there's no errors. Okay, very similar to what we did with the user stuff. We're going to say if not empty data title underscore error and not empty body error. Okay, so if those things are true, then we want to move on. Else, okay, else, then we want to load the view with errors. So we'll say this view, what's the view? Posts /add and then we'll pass in the data, which will include the errors. So let's try that out at least. So if we submit, why is that not working? So let's see, we're submitting to add, right? Let me just make sure it's going to the right place. So post add, and let's see, action is post/add, so it is going to the right place. We're checking to see if the request method is post. Let's see. Let's just make sure that it's actually submitting here, not data. Die. All right, so we know that that's submitting. Then we're getting the post. We're sanitizing the post. We're adding all of our data stuff here. We're validating the data, filling in the title error, the body error. Down here, we're making sure there's no errors. Let's just see if this is actually passing. So this will be success. Oh, you know what? This should be, I shouldn't have put an exclamation. This should be empty. We want to make sure those are empty. All right, so now it should work. There we go. Please enter title. Please enter body text. Success. Good. All right. So let's go back and let's continue in here. Okay, so we'll say validated. And now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap inside of an if statement. We'll do if else a post model function or method called add post. So we're going to say if this post model, and we're going to call add post, and then that's going to take in all the data. Okay, if that passes, then we want to set a flash message, and we'll call this post underscore added. And let's see. And for the message, we'll just say post added. All right, then we want to redirect to posts. And then else, then we're just going to say die. Something went wrong. All right, so now we need to add this add post method inside the model. So let's go to models post.php, and we're going to say public function add post. That's going to take in data. And then let's copy something from the user model just to make this quicker. So if we go into models user, and let's see, it's going to be similar to register. So I'm just going to grab all of this that's in register and then go back to add post, paste that in, except here we're going to say insert into posts. Stupid keyboard. Insert into posts, and we want the title, we want the user ID, and we want the body. Okay, and then we're going to have some placeholders for those. So title, user ID, and body. All right, and then we're going to bind those values. So this will be title. It's going to be bound to data title. We're going to have user ID. That's going to be bound to data user ID. And we're going to have body, and that'll be bound to data body. All right, then we're just going to execute. If everything goes okay, we'll return true. If not, we'll return false. All right, so let's save that, and then we should be able to do this. So let's try it out. Let's reload here. We'll add a post. So now we are logged in. Okay, we have to be logged in. And then let's say, you know what I'm going to do is delete the posts that I already have in here. So let's see, we'll go to posts and we'll delete these two. Okay, so now if we go back to posts, you see there's nothing here. So let's add. And submit. And post one. Okay, now the flash message didn't show because I forgot to put the output. So let's see, where do we want the output to go for the flash message? You know what I think a better idea would be? Instead of saying it, when we go and we say flash post added, let's just change this to post message. And then we can use this when we do an update or a delete or whatever. We can just use post message and then put the custom message. All right, and then we'll go to our post index page, our index view, and let's put this, let's see, we'll put it right, let's put it at the top right here. So we can say PHP flash, and we called it post message. All right, let's try that. So we'll go ahead and we'll add another post. Oops. Submit, and there we go, post added. Now I could log out and I could register as someone new. Let's say John Doe. Okay, now we'll log in. All right, and now if I add a post, and submit, now you can see it says written by John Doe. All right, cool. So we now have the add post functionality down. So what I want to do next is work on the show page or the details page. When we click more, it should take us to a single page, a single post page. So that's what we'll be doing next.